New moon. Welcome everyone. This is a group reading for the new moon in May 19th. And new moons, as you may know or you may not know, symbolize sort of a new beginning, stepping into something fresh, new. It's a great place and time for intention setting. So getting clear on kind of what you're up to, where you're going, and letting the energies that are around kind of helping you to get there. So for this reading, I invite you to think about something that you need instruction on, that you are stepping into. Maybe you need a little guidance on where to go next and what to do next, or even what to release. You know, a new moon, you can certainly release the old to make room for the new. So I'm going to kind of focus this on mainly like, what do you need to know as you step into this next season or this next phase? So that's going to be the main question I'm focused on here. What do you most need to know as you step into something new? So choose a card. We've got Magic, Impasse, and Stillness. Whichever one is calling to you most, and we'll get to the piles in a second. All right, Magic people. We're going to be using a few different decks today, including my first Oracle deck, the Corporate Oracle. It'll be out soon. This is kind of fun. So for those of you that have any background in the corporate world, this deck might be something that you're interested in. So again, we're just thinking about things that most need to be embraced right now or stepped into. You know, what is kind of calling to you? And we'll go from there. So this is from the Wild Mystic Oracle deck, which I just got. I think it's gorgeous. I'm excited to use it. This is such a pretty design. Yeah, so maybe you're stepping into something new in a relationship or at work. Maybe you just don't really know what you want to step into, so this might offer you a little bit of guidance there, and that is okay too. So we're going to use a couple tarot cards, a couple oracle cards, and off we go. All right, so this is what we've got for magic. So let's just talk about magic for a minute. Like, this is a great card in and of itself to really step into spaces that hold a lot of magic. For me, that's nature for sure. So what might be best for you right now to embrace, what might be best for you right now to spend more time in and around and exploring is, you know, places that contain a lot of magic. This could also be the arts. I think there's a lot of magic inherent in the arts, music, you know, painting, pottery, gardening, watching things grow. That already seems like a really strong message for this group, that those sorts of things might be useful to explore. So we're going to set this up here so we have a little bit more space and see what our cards have to say. All right, so the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is the suit of water, which is related to our emotions. And reversed, normally it is about harmony, collaboration, you know, harmonious relationships with others, cooperation with others. But this is actually a time for you to maybe step back from any projects or collaborations or community projects, anything that you're working on with other people, and kind of revisit what direction you want to go in. This is very much kind of a reflective point, you know, like, what are you working on, and where might you be missing out on something that would fulfill you more deeply because you're kind of working with others. And I don't think this is to say like not to work with others. It's just tuning inwards a little bit and paying attention to how you feel about the work that you're doing. and tweaking it a little bit to make sure that you have room to express yourself the way that you want to. And that's actually really important. So we've got the 10 of Wands coming in right after that. If you continue to go in this direction where you are working with others and you are perhaps not reflecting on what you need and what you want, there's a good chance that you're going to hit a wall, that this is going to be kind of straw that broke a camel's back. Maybe it's already not as joyful or enjoyable as it once was. And that's something to really pay attention to, because it's just going to get heavier if you are ignoring alignment. Like, this should feel good to you. Whatever you're doing in your life, in your work, in your relationship, this is a sign that if you continue to ignore what's really calling at you and what you're not bringing forth for yourself, the burden's just going to get heavier and heavier and heavier. The Hermit and the Hermit reverse. This is like reiteration of this point. Like, the Hermit wants to come out and explore. I'm just going to turn this down a little bit so we don't have such a glare. The Hermit wants to come out and explore and really wants to connect internally with intuition and deep reflection. Reverse, this is a call that you have a little internal work to do to realign yourself. You know, all the energy that you're putting out, this is our life force, the wands, the fire, all the energy that you're putting out right now into the world may be doing some good, but the power of what the magic you can create and the magic that you can connect to when you are aligned with what is right for you is tremendous. I see this a lot in like social media. People post because they feel like they have to post and they hate it, and it's not really very aligned, and it starts to become very burdensome. And when they step back and reflect on what actually feels good to talk about, whether, you know, it's going to make them money or get them new followers or not, it starts to just ease up and feel good and flow. So that's really what this is about, like really finding internally what you're kind of missing, what you're not bringing forth. The new moon is about bringing forth something new. So this is a huge call for you to look at how you're spending your time and look at like what deep inside of you is kind of like wanting to come forward and wanting to come out. That's really important right now. In addition to that, we've got the 9 of Cups, another cup, which is also another reversal. The 9 of Cups is a wonderful, you know, it's a great card. I should probably show these up close a little bit. 9 of Cups. And it is about satisfaction, but again, reversed. This is like your satisfaction. You're missing out on some satisfaction right now because you're not connected to your own magic. There's a big space for this group where you're just not, and there's another one. You're not listening necessarily to your deeper gut and what wants to come forward. And so 2 of Pentacles, the suit of the earth, the suit of our stuff, our money, our bodies, our homes, all of that good stuff. The 2 of Pentacles is literally about this trying to balance all the things that you're doing. So this entire message right now, look on the one hand at what you're doing, look on the other hand at what you're kind of leaving out of the equation. You know, go deep here. This isn't a collaborative time. This is a time to really tap into what would feel good for you. What would be deeply satisfying? What do you love doing that you're not maybe doing right now? What do you love that makes you happy that you could bring into the current relationship or the current project or the space that you're stepping into? Like, what voice can you give to your own satisfaction? Like, how can you bring that forth in what you're doing? That is the main message here. Give your desire, give your satisfaction a voice. And hopefully some magic will be come out of that. So, good Lord. All right. So our next card, these cards always make me smile when they say exactly what I'm trying to say, because I haven't looked at them. Obviously, I just shuffled them in front of you. Emerge. That's the message. There is so much magic available to you right now if you allow it to come forward. And so maybe an example of this is like, say it's a work problem and you're just not sure what your teammates will think, but you really wish you could be more creative about X, Y, and Z, or you really wish you could maybe use some of your talents in a different way, or maybe in a relationship, you're not really speaking your truth. Maybe you're not saying what you really feel because you're afraid of what your partner or your friend might think. This is a time for you to give space to what is your soul's desire, really. You know, reflect on it, the hermit, reflect on it solo. And again, there's this burden of not doing that. You know, the longer you try to carry on the way you are, the heavier it's going to get. So this new moon, the new moon is emerging. So all of this is speaking so strongly to letting that part of you come out. We've got beautiful hummingbird with some energy here. Bring that up so you can see it. So nice. Yeah, this is what this is all about. There is so much energy available to you when you unlock kind of this part of you. You know, it becomes really burdensome, that 10 of Wands, when you are, you know, it almost takes more energy to hold back than it does to let things out. So that's what you should be paying attention to, is really releasing your inner desires. Believe. Excuse me. Believe is all about exactly that. Like, this can be yours. This is very possible. And, you know, have some confidence in yourself. Have some confidence that this magic that's right there for you, the magic of giving your true desires some space to emerge. There's going to be energy flow. You've got to believe in yourself. And this burdensome feeling that you might be feeling is going to lessen. It's going to ease up. It's going to feel great to step into your relationship, to step into your work, to step into anything that you're doing with like a flow, you know, with this new control over your life and over your energy. All right, corporate oracle. I've got the secretary. The secretary energy is really fantastic because this is all about managing yourself, managing your energy, looking at your life and really taking stock of where you are needing to kind of reorganize and reprioritize, and then make sure that happens. You know, make sure that you are taking responsibility for being heard and for letting this energy come forward. I mean, that's so important. And you have everything you need to do this, and you're just going to feel this magic is going to be so wonderful for this group. I can just feel that there's just like this burden that needs to be lifted. And once it does, you're going to feel great. So the emergence is there, ready for you. I'm happy for you guys. Good luck. All right, pile 2. This was Impasse. So those of you that chose this might really be feeling like there's something in the way that's kind of stuck, not really sure what to do next or where to go next, and that's totally fine. Part of this new moon energy, symbolically and literally, is to really step into something new. So let's find out what what needs to be considered right now and where you're heading, and again, what do you sort of most need to consider right now in order to be, thriving and growing? And again, sometimes the growth really comes with releasing something that might need to be released. That's part of it too. We're going to use a little bit of the corporate oracle here. This is my own deck, and kind of a fun one, different. But there's symbolism and archetypes and metaphors kind of everywhere. So I thought that would be a place that a lot of folks were familiar with, and it's been really fun to work with. All right, so last one, we're going to do a little bit of tarot here too. So what might be this impasse that this group is feeling? I am not totally sure, but we're we're going to get some more information on that in a second here, and let's just see what the cards have to say. So I think this is going to be more something about what needs to be released for this group. And there it is. So Ace of Wands, that fiery, creative life force energy reversed. There's maybe some second guessing going on here. There's opportunity for you. There's all sorts of things coming your way. We've got some big energies here, but like there is definitely, I mean, these two have a very similar thing going on. So there's a block that needs to be explored here. There's something that you are feeling like you want to, it's like you want to feel motivated. You want to feel connected. You want to feel excited to be out doing whatever it is that you want to do. But there's a block. And I think what the Hanged Man represents the best in this situation particularly is this is definitely, and especially as a reversal, this is a time for you to really seriously consider shifting your perspective in a big way. So really looking at how you're doing things, what you're expecting out of them. You know, there's a block there, and a lot of times when there's a big block, especially because you have 3 reversals right here, my feeling that I get from this, and that hopefully resonates with you, is that this block is coming from you, like kind of like a get out of your own way thing. This impasse is not really about other people. This energy that you have kind of bottled up, whether that's creative energy, or maybe you really need to say something to somebody, or really some kind of change really needs to happen in this next moon cycle. This is all about a shift in perspective, and maybe asking someone else, hey, what do you think about this? But whatever way you've been going about this, whatever way you've been sort of tackling this problem, it is likely that you are fairly far away from the solution, that you might be kind of hitting your head against the same wall, so to speak, and not making a lot of progress because you just keep repeating the same behavior over and over and over again. And so you are kind of in your own way. And Temperance, all about that balance, all about that harmony, but really looking internally at what feels kind of off to you, what isn't really flowing here. You know, in other words, you probably know what's missing or what you feel is kind of off, whether that's relationship or business or just home life. There's a good chance that you have a good idea right now of what doesn't feel quite right. So reflecting on that, taking a new view of it, and recognizing that, like, it's not about waiting for someone else to come in and save the day or make you an offer or ask you out on a date or whatever it is. It's about you figuring out what's kind of internally keeping you in your own way. And we've got the King of Pentacles. What's beautiful about this is when you figure that out, you have all of this energy available to you to really deeply enjoy some abundance around the corner. So on the other side of this impasse is King of Pentacles energy, and the King of Pentacles is sitting in a garden with a beautiful community around him, and usually the king is a very philanthropic, just abundant energy, and that's within all of us. So taking the time to really understand what you really want, what would feel really good, what's a little off and out of balance right now, and then trying this whole thing a different way, thinking about honestly how you might be able to shift your perspective, is going to open up this energy. It's just going to open up this block. You're going to get out of your own way, and getting out of your own way right now, oh my gosh. So we have 2 of the same card. We've got the Hanged Man upright and the Hanged Man reverse. Let me just say this. This is so much about your perspective in this. This is all how you are looking at this. And if you can shift your lens, if you can shift your attitude, if you can shift in general, the way that you're perceiving this, maybe even think about it like, maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe I'm making up a story in my head about what's really going on here. And actually, that's not at all what's going on. As soon as you can release some of that energy into a new direction, you're going to feel so much better. It's going to feel so much better. All right, we've got Corporate Oracle. We've got the elevator. Exactly. So this is a space that moves. This is an energy that takes you literally from place to place. Generally, we think of elevators as going up or going down. And this is so closely tied to this Hanged Man energy. I mean, really work with that energy. Like, you can go up. You can release this, or you can go down. This is kind of like, you get to push the button here. You get to decide how close to this abundance you want to get. You get to decide. This impasse is really you in your own way. And it's likely because of an attitude or a belief, or just like I said, kind of doing the same thing over and over and over and over, and getting the same result. So let's see what we have next here. Patience. That's true too. This process might not happen overnight. If you choose to hit the up button and you choose a different perspective and a different attitude, it might take a little while for some of this energy to clear, but that's okay. It's gonna feel better. It's little by little, it's gonna feel better almost immediately. And so having the patience to get through it, and look at that, the next card is determination. Patience and determination will get you through this. But this is up to you. This is a you thing, not an other people thing. Even if you think it's an other people thing, this is not an other people thing. This is very much about how you are walking through the world, holding yourself back from what really wants to come out, holding yourself back from abundance, and just enjoying yourself. That King of Pentacles that's under there. There's so much comfort and just enjoyment available to you. There's something in your mindset and in your behavior, your habits, your view, that's kind of keeping you from that. Hopefully that makes sense. And the last card, stop and let it all grow around you for a little bit. And isn't that perfect? So like this patience, this determination, and this idea of stopping, like stop being in your own way. In other words, whatever it is that you keep repeating, there's a thought pattern about this person, or about this person at work, or this friend, or there's something that you keep thinking about yourself, like, oh, I need to get in shape, or I suck, or I'm not good enough at this, I'm never gonna, whatever this repeated thing you keep doing to be in your own way is, it's just stop. Take a breath, take a different viewpoint, and see how that grows. See how it feels. Decide that you're going up. Decide that you have the patience and the determination to get through this weird sticky spot you're in, and see what's on the other side of it. But you first need to shift out of the space that you're in and into a space that's going to allow this energy to flow. And that's all up to you. So catch yourself in those thought loops. Catch yourself in any kind of repetitive, habitual behavior that's not getting you to where you want to go, and change it. Sounds simple. It's not that simple, but just say a different story. Tell yourself that, you know what, that's not true. I can change that. And see kind of what grows up around you when you do that. You are a force. You are a planet. You have crazy amounts of energy available to you. And that Ace of Wands that came up right away is really indicative of that. Change your mind, change your attitude, let that energy flow, and see what comes your way. It's going to be really great. It's really, really positive. Once you start working with this, it's going to feel awesome. Okay, pile 3. You guys chose Stillness. Hopefully you can see that. There it is. There we go. So something drew you to Stillness, and again in the new moon, there's absolutely anything that could mean, and we're going to find out. But I think stepping into a place of stillness and exploring what that might be for you might be the medicine that this group is after. Meaning there's likely a feeling in this group of going, and not stopping. If that's the case, pay attention to that, because this particular reading is really gonna shine some light on what you might want to be stepping into rather than the rushing around, and what you might want to release. We'll find out. All right. So, stillness. There's either maybe a craving for stillness. Maybe stillness feels a little inaccessible, but it seems to be an important part of this group's mindset, because you chose stillness. It was sitting right there in front of you. So let's explore that a little bit. First with the tarot. And we've got a Ten of Swords. This is, Okay, so let's look at this first row. And we're moving through this. These cards kind of come as a progression. And this group, I think, has been running around thought loops in their heads, like very heavy head stress, anxiety. This card is sort of like, this has been really hard. This has been a lot. This has been constant anxiety, angst, keeping you up at night, just energy spent going round and round and round and round and round, and you're kind of at the end of your rope. Like, whatever has been keeping you from this stillness is something that you need to be very clearly aware of right now, because you're burning out. And the Four of Swords, it reminds you exactly of that. This is kind of a double message that, like, it is time for stillness. It is time for rest. It is time to recuperate, and it is time to slow down your brain. That's easier said than done, but something has to change here, whether it's bringing in healthier habits, like a little more movement, maybe just a little more sleep, a slightly different choice in what you're consuming, have an extra glass of water. Whatever it is, start bringing your body into that restful state and quieting your mind. We all have something that helps us quiet our minds. And so turning to that, whether it's, for me, I can just look out the window and stare at the birds for a while, and believe it or not, it just notches my brain down a little bit. So really starting to lean into this so that you can build up some of this strength again. You're moving through this right now, and there's so much available to you. I think stepping into a stronger version of you is what this new moon is kind of calling for. So, like, what do I need to release? What do I need to step into? For you, pile 3, stillness is equal to strength. So you need to cultivate some of this restful time, some of this restful space, so that you can build up your stores again. And we've got the Seven of Pentacles here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm having a little issue with the focus. There we go. Seven of Pentacles, all about not being too impatient. So upright, it's kind of like cultivating something, waiting for it to grow. Reversed, this Seven of Pentacles is asking you to give yourself a little grace during this process, because whenever we say, yeah, just rest so you feel stronger, like, that just can be kind of annoying if life feels really hectic. So be patient with yourself. Give yourself some grace through this process. This is not like an overnight thing and suddenly you're better. This is likely the rest of this month. I mean, we're in a new moon, so check back in with yourself the next new moon or even the full moon. See how you're feeling as the days pass here. See if you're able to recharge that battery a little bit. And we've got the Knight of Wands reversed, which is very, very interesting because it's another call to like rein it in a little bit. The Knight of Wands wants to go, 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 go. The Knight of Wands is charging ahead. And reversed, it's like, hang on. Like, you may want to like see everything come to fruition, which Seven of Pentacles is very much like that. Like, okay, come on, let's get it going. And you may want to like dive straight into a new project, new job, new whatever. But like this is a time of like slow battery charge. And once that battery is charged, you're going to feel great. And I'm not saying it's going to take like years. This could just be, a few weeks, but this isn't just like, oh, yep, I listened to this reading, I'm going to take a nap and everything's good. Jot some notes down about like what you can do in your day-to-day to cultivate more stillness and really start charging up that battery so that you feel that strength, because that's super, super important right now. And in the corporate oracle, I just pulled the type A, which we all know a type A, or maybe we are a type A ourselves. And this is another reminder that like that energy that might want to try and control what's going on, that might want to orchestrate this battery charge in a certain way, you have to just kind of release that for right now. You can organize it to an extent, but just when we talk about the new moon and what we can release and step into, this is a time to really set aside, especially since this comes along with this Knight and the Seven of Pentacles. This is just a time to give yourself a little grace, hold off on like the wanting to charge ahead into every project, and cultivate some stillness rather than some like overthinking and planning, because that's not what's needed right now. And as if these cards, which I just shuffled in front of you, aren't, I don't know how this always works out, but you just got the Rest card. And I don't know if I need to say anything more about that. It's a pretty powerful message. I mean, rest for you, pile 3, cultivating stillness is so important right now. So it's kind of putting that type A part of your brain, even if you're not super type A, but putting that part of your brain that wants to control everything kind of away for a little bit, and just letting yourself rest, giving yourself some grace to do that, some space to do that. And this is also really important. We've got communication when we are trying to cultivate space for recharging, when we're trying to heal, when we're trying to just be still. Communication is wildly important, because we have to let other folks know in our lives, like our friends, our kids, our coworkers, our partners. We have to let them know like, hey, I really need like this evening to myself. Like, I would love to go out to dinner with you, but I just need a night where I can take a walk and read a book, or I need to take a bath, or I need to take a nap. Making sure that you communicate your needs right now is hugely important in this battery charging process. So, I mean, rest and communication, grace and patience, and not just charging forward. This Knight of Wands and this type A, they're going to be what you're kind of fighting against. You're going to notice that well up inside you a little bit. Like, I want to get it done. I want to get it all done. I have so many ideas, blah, blah, blah. But, if you're already feeling a little anxious and stressed out and kind of off, like, the focus right now is the rest and the recharge. And you're going to have all the strength to get the stuff done very soon. So don't worry about that. And the final card, it's not a competition. Wherever that lands, however that lands for you, I think it's an important message for this pile, because generally what drives us is this, it's not even a competition necessarily with other people, though it might land that way for you. It's just this like being really hard on ourselves, competing with ourselves almost, like talking down to ourselves, just feeling anxious, like we're not doing enough. Like that anxiety of that 10 of Swords is real. So it's not a competition. You take the rest that you need. You cultivate the stillness you need. You give yourself the grace and space to do that you need. Do your best to kind of take that desire to want to know how it's going to turn out and plan it out, and just communicate your needs and check in with yourself in a week. Check in with yourself in a couple weeks and see if your batteries are charged a little bit. See if this really helps to quiet this down, because this is kind of an end of the road, I'm carrying too much, my head's going to explode energy. And there's a reason you were drawn to this card. There's a reason that stillness appealed to you. So to bring back some of your strength, it's up to you to really create some space for yourself to recharge. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to do. So I hope this helps, and I hope you have a beautiful time recharging.